getting back into Siralim Ultimate, and somebody wanted to take a peek at... Oh, good, I do have audio way down. Okay. It usually winds up way too noisy when I get going, but anywho, I gotta remember how to even get back into this. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it has been forever since I played this, so I think I swap over here. Right. Okay, so I gotta just get my... Let's see. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, was this it? Okay. Alright, there we are. Specialization. Okay, so I trimmed out a little bit of dithering there. So, anywho, yeah, I can't even remember what my creatures were worth. So just record that just in case. But yeah, what was my current spec? That was Trickster. So that was one of my favorite ones to get going. But yeah, I remember that the Grovetender wound up just being a little tricky itself. So let's see. Animator, so let's see. Hopefully I got that in a stable group. Alright. Yeah, it's been forever since I tried this, so I do see that I did ascend on Animator, and Grovetender I haven't, but I do play with an Herbling here, so alright. And then let's see. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but let me get to the Menagerie manager here, and Animus Zonte. Wow. Boy, level 16,000. But yeah, I got the Herbling in here somewhere. I don't even remember what I named it. Here we go. Yep. Okay. So this one looks fairly recent, at least level 32,000 or so. Hopefully I've got equipment put on here, so let's take a look here. Oh, wow. Jeez. Yeah. Well, this is going to need some serious socketing. So anyway, I will give you the breakdown of what I've got. That is absolutely nuts. Let me get over to let's see. Yeah, it's been forever. So there's fusion. There's bonuses. Okay. Yeah, wow. Alright. Man, it has been forever. So, alright. So I guess I just socket stuff for the most part. So, yeah. That is kind of crazy. So here's a breakdown. Got the Herbling here. Got photomorphogenesis. So whenever it does an action, it gains relevant stats. And then it heals for 150% health. Oops. Shoot. Okay, actually, yeah, I meant to say that after this creature gains stats other than maximum health, enemies lose 25% of that amount of the same stat. So that's good. So it's got a dual stat gain and stat loss infliction system going. So that's good. I see that this is not even socketed, so wow. Oops. Oh shoot. Oh fuck. Don't even tell me I did that. Oh my god, am I gonna have to watch my... There we go. Okay. So alright. Let's see. I mean, it has been forever that I've even leaping magnets. At the start of battle, your creature's ethereal spell gems gain the first enchantment of their owner's first permanent spell gem. Okay. Well, that's nice. So I'm just going to take a peek at the creatures and their traits for starters, as well as their fighting styles. So this one's brutal as an Herbling, again, gaining stats and also inflicting some major stat losses where it can. I see it doesn't have a third trait involved, so I guess I've got quite the fledgling Herbling team here. So that's not cool. I was hoping to have something a little more instructional, but I'll just go through, see what I got. Got Sapphire Drake, Healing Breath. So when creature gets 150% health, always starts at top of timeline, and it has Abyss Orbs as well. So if an enemy has taken at least 2 turns, they are afflicted with a random debuff at the start and end of their turn. Cool. Okay. Got a Razor Web Arachnolisk set to Bashful. Jagged Edges at the start of each creature's turn. Enemies with Snared take damage equal to 10% of this creature's speed. No sudden movement. If this creature doesn't take damage from attacks or spells between each of its turns, it afflicts enemies with Snared and decreases their speed by 30%. So I see how it's trying to finish off enemies here. Equilibrium. This creature deals additional damage with attacks and spells equal to 25% of the total damage the enemy has received in the current battle. Nice. Death Sentence. This creature deals 125% more damage to enemies with Feared. And Puppet Master. This creature deals 20% more damage and takes 5% less damage for each minion that it has. So the artifact has a glimmering prism in there. And I've got Ass Kicker here. So enemies are sent easily to the bottom of the timeline with that relic. There's more damage done to the bottommost enemy on the timeline. So I can see this is a pretty aggressive build here. And then it's got an attack strategy. Got Vulcanar here. When your creatures attack, they deal 20% more damage for each time they've attacked in the current battle. Very nice. I love compounding stuff like that. Goad, your creatures adjacent to this creature attack 2 additional times. And Abyss Orbs, if an enemy has taken at least 2 turns, they're afflicted with a random debuff at the start and end of their turn. And this trait does not stack, so maybe I can swap that out. Because this is not important then, so alright. So yeah, Abyss Orbs is redundant, I can see in this build. So yeah, I haven't touched my Grovetender build in forever, so I can see this is why I'm probably getting beat usually with it. I hope that does give you some tips. Don't have Abyss Orbs twice. So after Vulcanar, you got a Sin with Despair. After an enemy loses stats, it's afflicted with a random debuff. And that ties in beautifully, I see, with the Herbling here, inflicting stat losses on its stat gains. So that is a very handy debuff engine, very defensive. I remember Black Fog, after this creature afflicts an enemy with a debuff. Ooh, some synergy there. It deals damage to the enemy equal to 15% of its lowest stat for each debuff the enemy has. So yeah, this is going to be some nice damage dealing here, just passive aggressively here. And when this creature deals damage with cold blood, or otherwise rather, it deals between 50% and 250% normal damage. So yeah, this is a nice set of synergies here. Sapphire Drake here. I believe there was one here. So this involves healing of creatures using the Grovetender set of traits anyway. So yeah, between these two guys, between these two drakes here, that's quite a bit of healing. So very good there. And then I do see that there's a defensive relic here of 5740 NG, and so this is just defense at the wazoo. Yeah, this does look like it does focus heavily on staying in the game as opposed to landing any killing blows. So so yeah, I use Fury Swipes and Shell Bust a lot. Wormhole, very utilitarian. Life Orb, Great Resurrection. Chaos Rift, Entangling Roots I like. Let's see, whoops. So yeah, False Beliefs, very handy for dealing a lot of damage, I recall. And Vacuum, handy for stealing traits, very meta there. Let's see what else we got here. So Yep, that's good for lowering stats altogether. This is very good when there are a lot of debuffs given out with Abyss Orbs. Summon War, so you got some minions in there. Vacuum again, takes any game-breaking traits, lets you level the playing field there. Entangling Roots, enemies are afflicted with snared. Chaos Channeling, target is afflicted with 3 random debuffs. So very, very nasty. I make a lot of this stuff generous. I can see that there's an empty spot here. Golden Stout is a boost spell. Caster casts the spell gem in its artifact's spell slot. Looks like that can use a little bit of enchanting. So yeah, it looks like I kind of used Grovetender and then just kind of bugged out and really didn't build too much. This is a weird build because I see that there is 5740 NG here, and then it's also here. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on with that. So yeah, this is definitely a work in progress, one that got abandoned apparently. So yeah, I'm a bit puzzled by this one. So this is 2 Drakes that have 5740 NG. Yeah, certainly need some socketing. A lot of speed here. Intelligence boosts, additional gem slots. A lot of intelligence boosting. Yeah, I really don't know why. This stuff has barely been touched. I mean, I do recall that I shied away from Grovetender, and I can see now that this is quite the obvious reason. So, yeah. So it'd certainly take out a relic here. So, yeah, it's a weird little corner of what I've built, so I'll try to work on this anyway. That's a quick glance of everything. So we'll get your trait list here again. So you got Photomorphogenesis, Blessing from Below. Be sure to add an additional trait here from your nether slot. So have your Sapphire Drake with Healing Breath, Surprise, and then Abyss Orbs. Make sure that you don't have duplicate of that if you do decide to build after this. Use a Razor Web Arachnolisk to slow things down. Jagged Edges, no sudden movement. Equilibrium, Death Sentence, and Puppet Master. Vulcanar with Firelord, Goad, Abyss Orbs. Again, keep an eye out for that. Get rid of the duplicate that you don't want to use. And then next up, have a Duller Sin, Despair, Black Fog, Cold Blood, and so I got Star Wrath there. Let me do a quick run through of what I got for relics here. I should have done that as well, but I got Bloodseeker for your Herbling, 5740 NG, which again may be a duplicate, Ass Kicker, Fable, Star Wrath. So again, replace 5740 NG. Not sure what's going on with that, but anywho, finishing up with the Dolor Sin, Despair, Black Fog, Cold Blood, and then Sapphire Drake, Healing Breath, included, Benefic. Oh, so that's very handy with the 150% healing that goes on. So that is a great combo to keep your barriers up. And then Emerald Blessing, there's 150% more healing given and received, so makes for some great barriers. And yeah, I gotta get some extra socketing in here, so anywho, I know that's very weird and random and kind of incomplete. So that's how you can at least get a good model going. You know, have your Drakes give some good barriers at 150% of that because of their healing bonuses. Just have the Herbling be involved in getting rid of enemy stats, and then whenever enemies do lose stats, they take damage out of that. So you got a nice passive damage engine going that way. So yeah. And then these are the anointments that I got. Death Rattle is let's see. Where your creature's stats are no longer reset after they're killed. Sanguine Fortitude. Your creatures take less damage equal to 10% of the total amount of damage that they took in the current battle. Revelation. Very handy, very powerful resurrection anointment. Your dead creatures have a 30% chance to be resurrected with 50% health. Shadowbringer has Shadow Sickness. Enemies always have Blighted. And World Breaker. Enemies take 100% more damage from Blighted. So there's a good chunk of gaming engine here. So nothing else in the final page here. So that's okay. Anyhow, I hope that does give you some ideas. I know that it's a little awkward and it's a little goofy, and if I do play this again, maybe I might go ahead and just get some gems socketed and see if I can get through doing a lot of damage, and also just boosting stats like I appear to. So this does look like a very reactive build that I've got for Grovetender. I hope I can just resurrect it and get into it. I would be happy to just clear out some of the weird stuff like the duplicate 5740 NG relic. I do want to go ahead and get that fixed up, and I'm sorry to talk weird. My epilepsy is just not helping. But I hope that this was at least a video that addressed what I've got for a build. And I hope it showed off some of the traits and perks that I got chosen. And I hope that this all works out for you if you do start working with some of the new creatures that have been introduced. I'm sure you can find some great combos. But thank you for having me take a look at the engine on this. So let's see. So there are the 5 anointments right there. So that's it for now. I hope this little peek in here was enough to get you building some of your own items and creatures together and a deity or two. Anyway, let me know if that gets you on a good tangent building things. Certainly stat loss is very awesome in a Grovetender build, so I'll just do a quick bonus run through. And I know I'm really rambling on this one. I just haven't touched the game in forever. So your Herbling, when your creatures are afflicted with debuffs, nutrition removes one of the target's debuffs, and then there's a lot of healing that happens as well. There's Angry Orchard. Enemies get afflicted with Blighted, and if they already have it, they already recover a moderate amount of health. Biodegradation, your Herbling attacks an additional time for each tier that it has. Cultivation, at the start of your Herbling's turn, it gains 10% of each stat for each tier that it has. So that comes in very handy in inflicting stat losses. Deep Roots, if your Herbling is the first creature in your party, as it is, it provokes at the end of its turn. If your Herbling is the 6th creature in your party, it defends at the end of its turn. Defensins, so your Herbling is resistant to debuffs and can't be afflicted with debuffs while at tier 3 or higher. Eternal Blossom, at the end of your Herbling's turn, it casts Wild Growth, and that gives mending and a large amount of maximum health to your creatures. Nature's Wrath, your Herbling will always have an additional buff for each tier. Offense Mechanism, so after your Herbling attacks, it casts Shell Bust. So there's a lot of debuffing here. So on gaining stats, it gains stats. It gets more aggressive for every tier that it's got. At the start of your Herbling's turn, enemies lose stats equal to 10% of your Herbling stats for each tier that it has. Symbiosis, at the end of your creature's turns, your Herbling gains 1 stack of Spiderlings. And Synthetic Resin, your Herbling casts an additional time for each tier that it has. So Let's see. So yeah, as you can see, these haven't leveled. Let's see. Man, I have not played this game and leveled my creatures up here like I need to, so I can't even remember where I'm supposed to do it. Let's see. Yeah. So let's find out. So I'm glad I actually have to play this here. Let's see. Boy. Oh, is it here? I think so. Okay. Whoops. It's here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright. Maxing them out. 40k. So that's good. That's one of the most critical things here that would stick out. So, alright. Let's see. Alright. Aha. Okay. Okay. Man, I have not like attuned relics or anything. Okay, how do I do it? It has been for freaking ever. Let's see. Oh, man. So how the heck do I even attune a relic? Let's see. Yeah, it's been for freaking ever. Oh, relics are down here, so I at least remember that. Okay. Alright. What do we got? 1,000 needles. Yeah, let me see if my creatures already have that for relics here. Bloodseeker. Yeah, 1,000 needles is usually really nasty and attack related, so that wouldn't really tie in too well with this one, so let's see. Yeah, all my relics are way down for the most part. Arbiter. This one's pretty defensive at least, so let me just make sure that it's not already attuned. Okay. Yeah, Arbiter's pretty defensive, so just do that one. Okay. Yeah, I have not played this in forever, so I thank you very much for your patience here as I test this. Let's see what we got. Yes, the things ought to be pretty defensive here, so. Oof. Nasty. Well, I'll just finish this little son of a gun off here. Jeez, silenced. You can see lots of debuffs going on here, so this guy won't be around long here. And I'm just gonna finish him off before I raise my ally here, so. So when testing, I do just a level below max. Makes it easier to escape. So let's see. So yeah, I remember that snared works beautifully, so I just tend to use the temporary versions there, so. So usually when I'm getting beat like this, I just throw in Life Orb. Makes it all super defensive. But yeah, Vulcanar is a nice aggressive deity to have here, so. There we go. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's an animation. Oops. I'll just give everything snared. And so as you can see, lots of debuffs inflicted here. So as you can see, lots of debuffs inflicted. And that's just adding up to a ton of debuffs there, so... So I'll just use Life Orb here. Quick way to get back. Use Entangling Roots. Okay, we got some animations here. Oops. Lots of damage here with Blighted. False Beliefs is a good quick wipe. So I still haven't beaten any animations. I forget what they even look like. Let's see. just use Entangling Roots for the most part, and that gets you through quickly. And just finish up with attacks. There you go. Yeah, for the most part, just use your temporary Entangling Roots spell. And that will knock most of your enemy out. And there goes a big pile of debuffs here. Alright. I forget what the animations even look like. So, oh, here we go. Alright. So yeah, this is just eyes and ears and feet and hands. Oops. And for the most part, the macro winds up getting you through. It's nothing special. I mean, just use Entangling Roots as best you can. Oops. There we go. So I keep choosing macros to do by accident. Just use Entangling Roots, get a lethal amount of that on, and then feel free to use Life Orb. So as you can see, enemies get hit very easily with debuffs here. So just focus on that. Anything that deals damage according to number of debuffs, very helpful. So I believe that's Cruelty of the Wild there. Okay, so let's see.
Very off key, baby. You gotta be tuned up.
Yeah, let's see.
Tuned up or throwing the fuck around on YouTube. Boy. Baby boy face. Baby boy face. Holy fuck, I feel so clean.
Yeah, there we go. So enemies get afflicted with Blighted if they already have it. They instead recover a moderate amount of health while afflicted with Blighted. So that's the whole level right there, give or take a little bit of bonus exploration. So for the most part, enemies are going to be so miserable with debuffs that they won't be able to punch through and get rid of any of your team. If they do, just resurrect them. The Grovetender is a pretty resilient build anyway compared to some. So there we go. So that's it. That's how you build Grovetender a little bit. And be sure to round out your build, though. Make sure that you've got plenty of gems in there in all your equipment. Just make sure that you're not making yourself suffer unnecessarily. And that is about it. So I'll go ahead and save the game. And that's it for now. Anyway, I hope that is a gentle start into